You're too lazy to deserve this house, my brother laughed, forcing me to move out of our childhood home after Mom's death. He didn't realize that I had already bought it and would evict him on Christmas Eve. I never thought I'd be writing this, but watching my brother's smug smile as he walked around our childhood home today, pointing out all the changes he planned to make, something in me finally snapped. The thing is, he has no idea that I already own the house. Let me explain. 8 months ago, Mom asked me to come over for coffee. Nothing unusual there. We had our weekly coffee chats ever since I moved back home to help care for her. But this time was different. She waited until I was mid-sip before casually mentioning her diagnosis. Stage 4, she said, stirring her coffee like she was talking about the weather. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year. Before I could process it, she pulled out a folder. But that's not why I asked you here, James. I remember staring at her hands. They were steady, while mine shook so bad I had to put my cup down. She started talking about the house, about Elijah, my older brother, about her concerns. See, Elijah had always been the successful one on paper, but Mom, she saw right through him. Elijah will sell this house the moment he can, she said, her voice matter of fact. He's underwater on his condo, and I've seen his credit card statements. She pushed the folder toward me. I want you to buy it, fair market value, everything legal and proper. I tried to argue. It felt wrong talking about the house while she was telling me she was dying. But Mom had always been 10 steps ahead of everyone else. I've already talked to William, she said, referring to our family lawyer. He's drawn up the paperwork. I'm selling it to you at market rate, no special deals. You can afford it with your savings and what you make. I know you love this house, James. You're the only one who ever did. She was right. I'd moved back 3 years ago when she first started getting sick, working remotely from my old bedroom. Elijah visited maybe twice a year, always with grand stories about his latest deals and how well he was doing. Mom would smile and nod, but she kept all the important papers in her room, locked away from him. The sale went through quietly. Mom and I agreed not to tell anyone. She didn't want drama in her final months. We just carried on as usual, me working from home, helping her with appointments, Elijah calling occasionally to boast about his latest achievements. Mom passed 2 weeks ago. The funeral was hard, but what came after was worse. Elijah showed up at the house the next day with a notepad, already measuring rooms and talking about how he'd modernize the place. He didn't even wait for the will reading. This old kitchen has to go, he declared yesterday, running his hand along the tile countertop Mom and I had installed together last summer. And your room, sorry, little brother, but I'm thinking a home gym. You'll need to find your own place. I sat there at the kitchen island Mom and I used to share coffee at, watching him plan the destruction of our home. Then he said it, the words that made me decide to finally reveal the truth. Let's be honest, James. You're too lazy to deserve this house. Living with Mom all this time, working from home in your pajamas, that's not a real job. I'm doing you a favor, forcing you to finally grow up. He didn't notice how my hands had stopped shaking, didn't see the small smile I couldn't quite hide. You see, the will reading is tomorrow. Elijah thinks he's about to inherit everything, the house, Mom's savings, all of it. He has no idea that the house isn't even part of the estate anymore. Mom left him some money, sure, but the house? The house has been mine for months. I have the paperwork in my desk drawer upstairs, right next to the eviction notice William helped me draft last week. I'm sitting in the kitchen now, drinking coffee from Mom's favorite mug, listening to Elijah in the living room as he talks loudly on his phone about his renovation plans. He's talking about knocking down the wall with Mom's hand-painted flowers on it. Tomorrow, everything changes. For now, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my coffee. Mom always said revenge is best served cold. Coming soon. Just wait until you hear what he did when he found out. Thank you all for the overwhelming support on my last post. A lot has happened in the past 2 days, and not much of it good. Remember how I mentioned Elijah was making renovation plans? Well, he didn't waste any time getting started, without asking anyone's permission, of course. I woke up yesterday morning to the sound of a truck backing into our driveway. At first, I thought it might be a delivery, but then I heard multiple car doors slamming. By the time I got downstairs, Elijah had let in 3 guys with tool belts who were already measuring the kitchen walls. Oh, good, you're up, Elijah said, not even looking up from his phone. You should start packing. These guys need to get the kitchen by the end of the week. I stood there in my pajamas, coffee mug in hand, watching strangers walk through my house. The thing is, I couldn't say anything yet. The will reading wasn't until later that afternoon, and William, our lawyer, had specifically advised me to wait. Let him show his true colors, were his exact words. So I just nodded, went back upstairs, and started documenting everything. Photos, videos, timestamps. I even recorded Elijah's voice as he talked about tearing down Mom's hand-painted wall. This flower stuff has got to go, he said to one of the workers. It's so dated. We're thinking modern industrial. Around noon, Elijah came up to my room without knocking, of course. Listen, he said, leaning against my door frame like he owned the place. I need you to clear out by Sunday. I've got the design team coming Monday, and this room needs to be empty. The will reading isn't until 4, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. Maybe we should wait. He actually laughed. Come on, James. We both know how this is going to go. Mom always knew I was the only one who could handle the property properly. I mean, what would you even do with a house this size? Hold land parties? While he was talking, I watched him pick up Mom's old music box from my desk, the one she'd given me when I was 10. He turned it over in his hands like he was appraising it for a yard sale. I had to clench my fist to stop myself from grabbing it back. That's when Natalie, our sister, showed up. She'd come early for the will reading and walked into complete chaos. The kitchen was half dismantled, strange men were walking around, and Elijah was already talking about where to put his new hot tub. What the hell, Elijah? She demanded. We haven't even had the will reading yet. This is still technically Mom's house. Oh, please, he waved her off. We all know how this is going to go. I'm just getting a head start. Besides, I'm doing James a favor, he needs to learn to stand on his own feet. Natalie tried to argue with him, but you know how Elijah gets when he thinks he's right. She ended up pulling me aside into Mom's old room, the one place Elijah hadn't invaded yet. He'd always been a little afraid of Mom's disapproval, even now. James, she said, looking worried.